What's good? What's good, everyone? It's your boy Gio. We're back. We went on a little 2 week hiatus, had some things going on. Then last Monday was a holiday, but we're back. And what a time! And then the sports time. A lot of things have been happening. A lot of championships. Today we're going with the pink. Celebrating my people, not my people, but no. Actually, let's change the color. We'll do blue. We'll do Chelsea blue today. But welcome everyone. Hope everyone's week's going great. Happy Monday. Hope everyone, doing what they got to do, taking care of business as always. Um, Hope everything, that you put your mind to, whatever it is you accomplish this week, keep grinding. As always, as I like to say, just keep grinding. Everything works out. But, what? Like I said, we've been off for 2 weeks, but we're back and let's jump into it. Obviously, where the y nada más people at. Real Madrid wins their 15th Champions League this past Saturday, defeating Dortmund 2-0. Um, as we talked about it, they were the favorites throughout the tournament. We we said that that they would take care of business, and they took care of business. Now, obviously, Real Madrid won fair and square, no ifs and or buts. They were the best team. They are the best team right now. And with teams like that, if you're going against them, you have to capitalize on the opportunities that present themselves. Dortmund had a lot of opportunities throughout the game. First half, Adeyemi had a couple, and throughout it, they just didn't capitalize. And we'll get into another team later, but Real Madrid, they did what they did. Eventually, they were going to score, and it was just written in the stars. 15 Champions Leagues, incredible. Congratulations, Real Madrid. Um, and a lot of emotion, right? Tony Cruz, we gotta, no hate, Tony Cruz, man. What an amazing midfielder. His days at Bayern, Germany, with Real Madrid. We have to applaud him for his career. He still has he's still playing the Euros, but that was his last game. What a way to go. Um, man, he dominated. He still bossed the midfield. His touch, his passes, his shot. So congratulations, Tony Cruz, on an amazing career. But I mean, throughout it, we spoke about it. We'll touch Vinny later, but Jude Bellingham, the amazing season, his first season that he had. What an amazing player! What an amazing player, young player. The defense, Courtois stepped in. Top to bottom, this team was the best, and they proved it. 15 Champions Leagues. There's six, I believe, six Champions Leagues in what the past like 15 years. Crazy, man. They just keep winning, and we'll jump into it later. But I don't know who's going to stop this team. I mean, maybe the Manchester Cities of the world, but they just added someone today. But let's talk about Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti. Sometimes we forget how great of this coach, of how great of a coach he is, and not just in Real Madrid. In his AC Milan days, he was dominant. He won a couple Champions Leagues there, but now this renaissance with Real Madrid, and we forget that he did leave Real Madrid and came back. He went to Everton, but again, man, the calm, cool, collected when Carvajal scored the 1-0, he didn't let the moment phase him. Everyone was celebrating. He stuck to business, and just wanted to give Carlo Ancelotti his props, his flowers. What an amazing coach. Sometimes, like I said, he's kind of, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like when we think of the best coaches, we think Pep Guardiola, we think Mourinho, who am I miss? Jurgen Klopp recently, back in the day, Sir Alex Ferguson. But Carlo Ancelotti, he's been doing it almost 30 years, and he's still at the top of the game. So I just want to give him his props. Um, he probably has maybe a couple more years, so let's enjoy him while he's still coaching. And the crazy thing is, I mean, Real Madrid hasn't skipped a beat. They did lose. They lost the Ronaldos, the Bales, Benzema, and he's still been able to make this team competitive. The emergence of Vinny, Bellingham, Valverde. Valverde had a crazy game, man, running up and down. He has like maybe like five lungs in there, like, but he still, the philosophy still makes his team play good, and they were good, so I wanted to give him his props. But now a lot of talk has been said. Obviously, this season most likely the end of the Ballon d'Or is going to like a Messi, Ronaldo is coming. But Vinny, after his performance of his Champions League and throughout this season, I think Vinny's been probably the best player in the world. Um, what a Even though he his goal he scored he hit that ball pretty bad, but man, Vinny he's a monster. He cooked on. I was watching the game. He cooked on that side, and he's been having, like I said, an amazing season. I think he's been him, or you could say Jude, but I think it's Vinny on top. I mean, obviously Mbappe's still there, but I feel like winning the Champions League, being the marquee player for Real Madrid, I think he's gonna take it this year, and it's gonna be a fresher breath air now. New players, these new young players coming up, and as the future goes, now when well, that's the next topic, but now that Mbappe is in Real Madrid, man, this team's just gonna be crazier. The battle for the Ballon d'Or is gonna, between two teammates, but it's a good spot. And a lot of people they hate on Vinny, his antics and stuff, but as a non Real Madrid fan, I think he's great. He's amazing. Um, he gets a lot of sometimes, he gets a lot of abuse, and that's sad. But throughout it, man, I think he's one of the best players right now in the world. Him, Mbappe, Bellingham. Who else? Who am I missing? You got the Haalands. You got Phil Foden had a great season. You got to put him up there. My boy Cole Palmer, he had a great season. But le falta. He needs to win something big. But he's still young. So, and Chelsea, we got a new coach, official today. We'll see. We'll see. With everything Chelsea, it's always we'll see. But he's a Pep disciple. Let's see what style of play he brings. I don't think we have the players. We'll see who we sign, but I don't think the players we have will fit that style of play. But who knows? We have a young, solid core. We just need to get a striker. We need a number 9, someone that can finish, because even though Jackson, he'll have periods where he scores and doesn't score, I think we need a solid number 9. But we'll see what Chelsea ends up doing. Now, the big news of the day, obviously. We all saw it coming. I mean, we've been talking about it for many months now, but officially, Mbappe will sign with Real Madrid. I don't know if he's officially signed, but he announced on his Twitter, Instagram, Real Madrid announced. I think they might have done it already, but Mbappe, he signs with Real Madrid. Let's talk about the rich getting richer. Obviously, Real Madrid had an amazing season this past season, winning La Liga, winning the Champions League for the 15th time. And now they signed the best player in the world, one of the best players in the world, in Mbappe, in his prime, 25 years old. Man, the rich just get richer. And, you know, usually, when a team wins it all like that, you're like, how can they get better? Well, they just didn't. They got better. Does Real Madrid have a flaw in their squad? Obviously the top, Vini, Mbappe, Rodrigo, Valverde, Chouameni, Camavinga, Modric still he signed one more year. That midfield's crazy. The defense, I guess you could say maybe their center backs. I mean, Militao will be coming. Oh no, man, not their center backs. I forgot. They got Rudiger. Militao should be back from injury. You could say maybe the right back, Carvajal, he's up there in age, but I mean, he had an amazing game. And on the other side, they had Mendy. Um, they have Nacho. I mean, their goalkeeper is still one of the best in the world, Courtois, and even Lumen. He did a hell of a job this season. And the rotational players. I mean, I forgot they had Alaba in there. They had all the young. They have players like Vasquez. it's like, man, who's gonna stop this team next year? It'll be crazy. I mean, I think the only team that could compete with them would be a Man City, but Man City always tends, I feel like Madrid always has their number. But I think that would be the only team that could compete and be competitive. We'll see what other teams emerges next year, but man, this team's just crazy. It's like a fantasy ultimate team, but it's exciting. It's exciting. The best player now, Mbappe. He wants to build his own legacy. He's been playing in PSG. He's been winning that league so many times, but now it's time for him to solidify himself as, to take the throne from the Messis, from the Ronaldos, for him to be the face of football in the whole world. And I think, a lot of similarities when, CR7 moved to Real Madrid, both at the same age, 25 years old. He did win the Champions League at Man U, and he was, the best player in the Premier League. Moving to, Real Madrid, it was a little tough at the beginning, but we know the history. All those Champions League, the Ballon d'Oros, solidifying himself as one of the best players of all time of this era. Now Mbappe has the opportunity in Real Madrid, not only just being one of the best players in that team, but putting the team on his back in necessary moments like Ronaldo did. So I'm excited. I mean, as like I said, I'm not a Madrid fan, but as a football fan, you're excited. You're excited for the best players to play in the best leagues, the best teams, and it just makes you wonder what Barcelona will do to counter. Obviously, they're not in the best financial place right now. They do have, I don't know if Alberto's here, but they do have, I think, a young player that from all the young players that they've been hyping up, I think this guy is the one that's gonna actually become something. Jamal. I think he in that Clásico that they played that Barcelona lost. I think he was the best player for Barcelona on that field. He's only 16, 17 years old. He's gonna get better, get bigger paws. But him by himself, he's not gonna be able to defeat Real Madrid by himself. So they need to. I don't know. They gotta sign smart players that'll fit their scheme. With Hansi Flick coming in, he's gonna bring his own philosophy. Maybe he could bring some Bayern players over. Maybe like a Kimmich. That would be a good signing. Still have De Jong. I know for many seasons now that's been the talk of selling De Jong, but I think they should keep him. They should just unfortunately he just gets injured a lot, but they might have to sell some of those players, like Araujo, um, and then some of like the players that just I don't know they don't seem like Barca players like Ferran Torres. Yeah, that's the only one that comes to mind. But other than that, I mean, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, and I feel like Madrid's gonna their dominance in La Liga and Champions League is gonna continue. Next year at this time, we might be talking about a 16th Champions League. Things happen, injuries, other teams emerge, upsets, but they're the favorite, especially with Mbappe. Last week we didn't have a show, but there was another important game for us Mexican fans, leagues of La Liga Mexicana. Cruz Azul versus America, the final. I know a friend that flew all the way to Mexico to see his team lose, but we'll get into that later. A lot of controversy, a lot of people saying it wasn't a PK. Obviously, America won 1-0 with a PK to win it. And I think it was a PK. The defender's slide tackling in that part of the box in that moment was pretty dumb. He didn't really need to do that. And there was contact. The America player obviously let his foot drag a little bit. I'm sure he did, but sometimes you gotta echarle colmillo, and America did. But regardless, right, Cruz Azul they had opportunities to score. America's goalie, came through clutch, but they had the opportunities, and like we've been saying, teams like Real Madrid that are historic like that, they always tend to find a way to win, and unfortunately Tough to admit it, but America's in that same boat in Mexico. Well, I'm not comparing America to Real Madrid, but America, you gotta, same with the Chiefs. Yeah. But like those teams, you have to take the opportunity when it's given and capitalize it because they always find a way to win. And America, they also won their 15th Liga Mexicana title, bicampeón. Did they play their best game? I don't think they played their best game, but they they took care of business. They took the opportunity when they needed to. And Cruz Azul again loses another final, loses to America. Cruz Azul similarities with the Niners. They can't get over the hump of America, like the Niners can't get over the hump of the Chiefs. But we're still in therapy for that. We're working through that pain. But obviously, I feel for the Cruz Azul fans, except Tony, my father, big Cruz Azul fan. That man's he taught me one thing. You may not be faithful to the woman that you're with, but you always have to be faithful to your team, and that's something I value. With all my teams. But that man, he's loyal to one team, Cruz Azul, for many years, and when they won it a couple years ago, that brought joy to me. As for Tony, we'll get into it later, but I'm happy that he got to see his team lose. I really am. Unfortunately, we couldn't see the trifecta this weekend, but it is what it is. Uh, in other news, and obviously Alberto, thank you for your questions. Gio's only having the pod because Pachuca won, so we'll get into it. Pachuca defeats Columbus Crew 3-0 to win the CONCACAF Champions League for the sixth time in their history. Pachuca, who did they defeat in the semifinal to get there? America. Not all teams can defeat America, right? But Pachuca, dominant performance. Salomon Randon, 2 goals. They win. Now they get a ticket to play in the World Cup of Clubs. Maybe they'll face Real Madrid, but that's a year away. Pachuca, great season, making history as always. As a team, you could say one of the historic teams in Mexico, the oldest team in Mexico, the only team to win a Comenbol Cup. They won the Sudamericana in 2006. Anyways, and they just keep adding trophies to them. And then the thing about Pachuca too is they have the blueprint. They're winning with Mexican grown players, and they incorporate veteran, sometimes extranjero players. Almada not only did he win the league a couple seasons ago, but now this. And Pachuca keeps selling those young players. After we won the championship a couple seasons ago. We lost Kevin Alvarez. We lost our midfielder. He went to Chivas. We lost Luis Chavez. He went to Russia. But yeah, we still keep bringing up players. And before that, we had Chucky. We had Gutierrez. Pachuca's just been consistent, bringing young players, incorporating with older veteran players. La cuna del fútbol mexicano, exactly. Tuzos beating Madrid in the semis in the World Cup. Saludos, G. Saludos. Gio hosting the pod today only because Pachuca won. I spent like 15 minutes glazing Real Madrid. You know how hard that was, but I glazed them. They deserve it. Best team in the world right now. They got better with Mbappe. But of course, I gotta show love to mis Tuzos. That's my team, man. Happy, dominant win against Columbus, showing the supremacy of the Mexican club teams against MLS teams. Obviously, when they had that, I think they're gonna do it again. Madrid glazed Europe though. They did. They left a glazed donut in Europe. Pause. But it showed the dominance that the Mexican club teams have over the MLS. But what's that cup that they had last summer where Inter Miami won, where it was favored for the MLS teams because they played in the US? I forgot. But this one's I guess the CONCACAF's most important tournament. And again, I think there's only been one MLS team, the Seattle Sounders. They won it a couple years ago. But other than that, it's just been Mexican teams winning it over and over again. Leagues Cup, thank you. La Copita. But Pachuca, thank you. Thank you for making me champion. All my teams, they failed me this year. The Niners, Chelsea. That's about it. I mean, Alex Pereira, he won the championship. That's my guy. Boatan. Other big news, big news. Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, highest paid non quarterback in the NFL, signing 140 million 4 year contract, 110 of that guaranteed, 35 of that annual, makes him the highest paid non quarterback, surpassing Bosa. Puts into perspective, who's the best player in the league? Obviously, Patrick Mahomes, 3 time Super Bowl. He's getting paid 45 million annually. That contract now looks crazy to think that the best player in the NFL is only making, I mean, $45 million is still a lot, but there's quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins. He's making more, 10 million more than Mahomes, which is crazy, right? When players sign, you always got to look forward because as the years go, the contracts will go up in value. But Justin Jefferson, well deserved, the best, receiver in the NFL, I think, right now. I mean, obviously last year he was injured, but when he's on, man, he continues to put up the stats. He had a Kirk Cousins. Now he's gonna have Darnold or JJ McCarthy. I'm sure he's gonna put up numbers, but well deserved um, for him. But this has repercussions now. There's still players like Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and ours truly, Brandon Ayuk, who haven't been paid. So what does that mean for them? Ila choked the Leverkusen in the final with Lookman hat trick to seal the one and title loss for Javi. Yes, forgot to mention that. That one was surprising to me. I know Alberto, he messaged me when that happened that, they just didn't look the same. But that was surprising. They literally didn't lose a game all season and they lost the most important one for them. But I think, like I said, they're going to make a run in Champions League. I think they're all sticking together. Javi's staying one more year. So that's another good team. They had a good season. Unfortunately, they didn't win that. But what does this mean for Brandon Ayuk? So Brandon Ayuk, if you guys have been following, Niners fans, he hasn't been showing up for voluntary practices. Usually players do that when they want to sign a contract because if you think about it, right, Brandon Ayuk is signed for one more year at 15 million annually, but obviously all these receivers have been paid. Devontae Smith got paid. Amon-Ra Brown got paid. There was one more that got paid recently. Obviously today, Justin Jefferson, but I feel like there's one missing. Someone big, if someone remembers that. But there was another receiver that recently got paid as well. I have him at the tip of my tongue. Pause. He's all right. He's not that good. Damn. It'll come to my mind. But he recently got. Lamine Jamal is the youngest player too. Oh my God, the memes. Alberto, I think I have a feeling he's gonna be. I'm not gonna say that he's gonna be like Messi, but I feel like he's gonna be good. He's gonna actually turn out to be something unlike what was the names they had, Ansu Fati, all these other young players that they put hope. I think he's like back in the day, Boyan, Christian Tello. I think he's gonna be good. We'll see though. But Brandon Ayuk, okay, he wants the bag, and now Justin Jefferson got the bag. Ansu Fati, yep. But now Justin Jefferson got the bag 35. I think Ayuk knows he's not gonna get 35. Let's be honest. Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the game, but I think Brandon Ayuk is like, well, I'm not gonna get 35, but I want 30 now. I want 31, 32. And now the Niners, I feel like, and what we've been saying, like the Niners, man, why didn't you sign your players earlier? If they would have signed them right as free agency started, and they would have said, we're gonna give you 27, Ayuk comes back, let me get 28. Perfect. Now that contract looks well, 28 million for Brandon Ayuk. But they waited. They waited. The Niners always do this, and at the end they're gonna pay him, and they're gonna pay what the market is: 32, 31. Maybe he can get 33. But right now the Niners they're kind of tight on cash. They're paying Bosa, Fred Warner, Kittle. They got Debo there. Obviously, Armstead now leaving. That's off the books after June 1st. That money is off the books. But next year they got to pay Brock Purdy, and if Brock Purdy has another season like he did, he's gonna be looking at 50, 52, 55, depending on where the market is. Well deserved, by the way, if he has another season like that. I mean, he was couple plays away from being a Super Bowl champ, but Well, we won't get into that, Kyle Shanahan. But Brandon Ayuk, does he deserve the money? Yes, he does. He's our best offensive player, our best wide receiver on the team. Um, and like we've talked about it, he's always showed up. He's never had any issues outside of the game. I think he should be one of our captains. He leads by example. Last year in training camp, he was in shape. Debo never comes in shape, but I heard Debo's in shape this season. Obviously, he knows because we did draft his replacement, and he has to have an amazing season to validate that contract he has. But I don't know what the Niners will do now. Actually, throughout it, I didn't know. I honestly don't know what they're gonna do. They might make him play on this fifth-year option, but that's. I feel like Brandon Ayuk will play on it, but he's gonna hold resentment, and next year, he'll be like, "F this, I don't want to play for you guys," and I have the option to sign anywhere. They could franchise tag him. That's something more. Basically, he can't leave next year if the Niners don't let him leave because they can franchise tag him one more time, and then he would become a free agent. So that would be 2 years of having him. But I doubt he will play for the franchise tag because the franchise tag just gives you a contract for one more year, and what these players want is longevity in their contracts. So yeah, I don't know what the Niners are doing. The flip side of it is Brandon Ayuk. They might have offered him a contract, and he's like, I want to wait to see what these other receivers get. That's going to work out well for him. So we actually don't know if the Niners did, but I feel like throughout the history of contracts, the Niners always tend to push that all the way to the end. So that's where we are now. Hopefully something can get worked out. Michael Pittman, yes, that's the other receiver that got paid. And he got paid like 29, I feel. So we can all agree Brandon Ayuk is better than Michael Pittman, but if he's getting like 29, 28, what do you think Ayuk should get? I mean, even Amon St. Brown, I feel like they're kind of similar, and Amon got 30. I think that's what Ayuk is. All right, this is my minimum, 30, and let's go from there. Which, if we would have done it, like I said at the beginning, you come at him at 26, 27. Ayuk's is like, I'm down for 28, 29. Boom. It works out for all of us. But what do we know? We're just fans. I'm just a random dude in Redwood City that has a podcast. I don't know shit. Um, any other football news? I mean, if we talk Niners, I mean, oh, another big one. Um, CMC. He hasn't been. Last year he was here for all OTAs, all summer practices. He's not. He hasn't been practicing, and the talk is he also wants a restructure, or yeah, a restructure, or a new, maybe add some more years, because after this year, that's it. The money is not guaranteed anymore. So, and he's just coming off being offensive player of the year. He basically was our best player on the team. Um, and he knows that next year they're not gonna have money to do anything because they're gonna pay um Brock Purdy. So maybe he's like, hey, you know, I want some. I think he just wants some guaranteed money because, like, I think this year is the last year, and then next year they could cut him what if he gets injured? They cut him, no money owed. So I think he just wants, and he deserves it too. But that's the thing. Us fans, we would like to pay everyone, but there is a cap, and the Niners, they're a lot top heavy. There's a lot of players that they've paid, and they got to think about the future as well. So we'll see how that goes. But I also heard my man is planning a wedding Monday loan season. Yes, so that could also be it. But coincidence? I think not. But we'll see. I think there's one more like mandate. So these are voluntary, by the way. But last year everyone came, and last year the mentality was we were supposed to win the Super Bowl if Brock Purdy didn't get injured. It's another thing to think about. The Niners now had Brock Purdy, had everything to win the Super Bowl. The Chiefs weren't as good as years before, and they still lost. So imagine your mentality, like, man, we got to go through all that again. You start thinking like maybe I'm not going to show up for voluntary practices. Maybe I'm going to enjoy, a longer summer. You know, I'll deal with it when I get there. that tends to fall to a Super Bowl hangover. We'll see how this team bounces back, but just imagine that, so close many years, NFC championships, losing, going back, being that close of winning it, and your coach not figuring out a way to win. The coach always finding a way to choke. Maybe they aren't believing in Mr. Kyle Shanahan anymore. Maybe there's questions to him. I saw Kittle's interview in practice. He doesn't seem like, the Kittle of, hey guys. Well, it was more, I'm here, I'm working through some things. I had surgery. So it's like, damn, it is what it is, man. But I'm getting excited for the season. Yay. Football. There's a couple cool games, against AAA Ron Rodgers, but to start off Monday night. Um, but we'll see how they do. What else? Other contracts in the NFL. I think that's it. So, UFC 302 was this past weekend. Islam is able to defeat Dustin Poirier by Darce choke, and showing why he's so dominant. Obviously, I kind of wanted Dustin Poirier to win. The legacy, the history he's had in the sport. He's been so close. Another one of these Cruz Azul Niner X type of things where he's so close to winning it and then he always gets choked out. And he got choked out this past weekend. But man, Islam, I was very impressed with Islam. Obviously, a lot of people don't like his style, but I feel like his style is actually, he takes more risks than Khabib did. He actually boxes. His boxing looked better. He was boxing with Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier couldn't figure him out. Obviously, the worrisome of being taken down, prevents you from, fully engaging in your boxing because you gotta, protect the takedowns. Because once you're on the floor against Islam, it's GG's. And Poirier, I mean, in the first and second round, yeah, he did a good job not getting choked out and escaping them. But I think I finally got it. But he looked good. Islam looked good. And as a big Charles Oliveira fan, I don't know who in that division who could take care of him. I know there's Sakurian, the guy that beat Oliveira. That's what Dana wants. But Islam, he wants, to try for 170, to be the GOAT. And I feel like that's what he should do. Because, like I said, in the 155 division, I mean, he's kind of made it look easy. He got obviously the only one he defeated 155 was Oliveira, and now Dustin Poirier because Volk he moved up. So a lot of people are saying he didn't really defend it against a 155er. So maybe he does the guy that he faces against can't pronounce his name, Sarkurian. He defends it there. Then he goes against Leon Edwards if he's able to defeat Bilal Muhammad. But I don't know. I think Islam would easily. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but I think he would easily defeat Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards is good at stopping the takedown, but I mean, Islam's different. And the conversation after the fight was, is Islam right now, the best pound for pound? I think he is the best pound for pound fighter in the UFC. But it's funny. Dana White, when they were interviewing him, he still holds John Jones as the best pound for pound fighter, even though he's only fought once. Yes, he did win the heavyweight gold against Cyril Gahn, but I mean, and obviously he hasn't lost in the UFC. He the light heavyweight division, he beat everyone. But I think right now, man, Islam, put some respect on Islam. I mean, he sounded very disrespectful of him, of the thought of him moving up to 170 for the belt, and I guess he wants him to defend it against the other guy. But I don't know if you guys have watched that interview. It's after the fights. He's like, I don't know. He's not hyping up Islam. Like I said, a lot of people think Islam's boring, because he just takes you down. But like, I feel like he boxed pretty good. Like he has more to his game. And I think, I think he's a monster and he's scary, and we'll see. But he does live. Man, motherfucker didn't die. But he does live. He does leave himself exposed sometimes because he's down the box. So puncher's chance. Anyone could get rocked. We've seen it. But other fights, Paulo Costa Strickland, very disappointing. I thought that one was going to be better. Because they both like to, fight. But I don't know, man. Paulo Costa just he seemed different. Like he didn't go for it. I feel like there was opportunities for him to hit that high leg kick, but he didn't. Strickland's very unorthodox. He has a Philly shell, and Strickland did what he had to do. He bobbed and weave, and at the end, he hit him a couple times. What's next for Costa? I mean, he's on a little slide. He has to win one because he doesn't keep winning. Uncle Dana might tell him deuces. Um, Kevin Holland, what an amazing fight. He another fighter too that he'll lose one, but then he'll win a nice one like this. Fan favorite. He went back up to 185. He got rocked, and then on the way down, he caught him on the triangle, broke the dude's arm, or I don't know if he broke it, but hyperextended it for sure. The guy wouldn't tap, but Herb Dean stepped in. A good win for Kevin Holland, one of my favorite guys in the UFC. But other than that, I feel like this card was kind of a snoozer. The main event was good. The Kevin Holland fight was good. Like I said, the Strickland Costa, and I heard the prelims were pretty good. Prelims always tend to be good because those fighters want to prove themselves. But and even going forward, right? This Conor McGregor card, International Fight Week, the fights they have scheduled, they don't seem popping to me for being International Fight Week. Usually, I felt like after UFC 300, we got spoiled because that card was freaking amazing, and every fight, putting the 300K bonus, like all those guys, I think we got spoiled, and now but there's a couple fight nights actually that are going to be good. Like who is it? Who's Chimaev fighting? Chimaev's fighting someone that's like, oh snap. Azul por vida. We'll get to you soon. Don't worry. I'm glad you're here. Well, actually, we are here. We're here, but hold on. Let me look this up. There's a fight night coming up that I'm like, that one looks popping. Not this one. Not that one. Oh yeah, Whitaker, Chimaev, Sergey Pavlovich, Volkov, my boy Vic against Daniel Rodriguez. Johnny Walker's in this one. Those fight nights, they're free. They tend to be popping. This one, I think this one's in Abu Dhabi because it starts at 12 p.m. But those are ones. But like I said, the card coming up, UFC 303, International Fight. Obviously, it's McGregor, Chandler. Today they were supposed to have a press conference, but I guess Conor McGregor couldn't make it, so they had to postpone it. Jamal Hill's fighting Carlos Ulberg, who's stepping in because the other guy tested positive for Khalil Rountree for, I don't know, something performing enhancing drugs or whatever. But that's it. I mean, then there's the women's bantamweight, Myra Silva against Macy Chiasson. But I feel like they're gonna announce more fights because this card's not even, there's not a lot of fights yet. But still, it's only 2 weeks away. Yeah, like 3 weeks away. So I don't know. Hopefully Dana pulls through. But Tony, you're here. He asked me top 3 favorite soups of all time. Sopa Maruchan, 1. Clam chowder, 2. That's it for me, honestly. Because any other soup, I would just rather throw it away. Because how about top 3 cheeses for you, Tony? Let me know. I know you're a big cheese enthusiast. But for soups, yeah, I mean, tomato soup maybe if I had to pick, but with a sandwich. But man, I mean, there's better things than soup. Like, I'm not going to a restaurant being like, oh, I can't wait to have the soup. I'm like, if they offer me soup, I'll be like, I'll think about it, but I'll rather get something else. There's just other things, man. Like soups, so I don't know, so blah, anticlimactic. But I got another top 3 list that I think, and it's top 3 Tony downfall moments. I feel like I can make a top 10, but I'm gonna try to stick to top 3. So one of my greatest moments of Tony's downfall, gotta be the first Cruz Azul America final where Moises Munoz, that hearing the story of him not being able to leave his home for 2 weeks, that brought great joy to me. That brought, just thinking of him and laying in bed, the saddest he's ever been, it just brings so much joy to me seeing someone suffer like that. So that would be number one. Maybe the Argentina Germany. That's another one because I know he lost a lot of money on that one. That's a great downfall moment too. Um, Hella mozzarella nada más. The literal downfall on the beach. That see that's what I'm saying. Top three is not literally him downfalling from the beach, eating shit. That's one of the greatest moments también. The bet with Madrid versus Barca where he bet out his hair and he went Alexander Del Piero in Juventus, that haircut with a little scar in the back of his head. That's a great one. The one where his mom knocked him out and I have the picture like that. That's another moment, another great moment. Downfall moment of Tony. There's many more. Um, Seattle throwing Russell Wilson throwing the interception against the Patriots in the 1 yard goal line when they have who's the running back again? Beast mode, Marshawn Lynch. Yeah, that one. That's a great moment too. Let's see what else. And guys, feel free to jump in on the Tony downfall. I wish Real Madrid would have lost and Islam would have lost because that would have been. I don't know if Tony will still be here, but we'll take the Cruz Azul loss. What other downfalls? Him flying to Brazil and then asking him for a visa, and he shows his Chase Visa card, and it's like, no, you need an actual visa. That one's great. Unforgettable, humbling, but no regrets. I love it. And many more to come, many more downfalls to come. Let's see what else. Oh, another one when he got so Smash supposedly is his game. Supposedly he's one of the best in Rebel City. So Rebel City, if you play Smash Bros, Tony's like the best. But he got humbled by someone, and I watched it live, and I could. He started saying the excuses like, "There's not my control. There's a lag." Da, 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 da. So that one too. That one's a good humbling. Um, there's many more, many more humblings. But Tony's downfall. We're all here for it. I'm here for it always. Like I said, it brightens my day up, makes me just so much happier. That man still rises like the sun on the Argentina flag every day. Never know which time zone though. He ain't all that, bro. This is a non Tony glazing session. That man does not deserve that. Okay, then, because right now he's on his high horse right now. He sunrise season, Thanos season. But right now, Madrid won. He happy. I love when they count me out. Islam won deservingly. He didn't get the Cruz Azul one, but that's okay. Obviously, in this mother effer, you know, riding the Chiefs bandwagon, motherfucker. But the higher the horse, though. Okay, let me enjoy this. It's not when we get to July. Yes, Niner season starts, but right now, I'm going through shit. Come on. But the rat, the downfalls. How's the sewers today? Any news down there? Um, you know, keep being you. Keep being a rat. That's what you are. Um, Vic here. Is Vic there? Shout out Manchester United as always. Vic, I mean, actually, my bad. You're a Chelsea fan. I forgot. So Vic, you happy with the coach signing? I am. What are you excited for the new jerseys? I might copy one definitely. Yeah. Hey Vic, how's it going? Um, but I'll copy one definitely, bro. I know you a XL slim fit for sure right now, so I'll get you that one definitely. Um, any thoughts on Chelsea? Just shoot me a text. I'll always. Da, 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 da. I love my fellow Chelsea fans. Okay, so last segment of the day, new segment of the day as well. It's called Gio's Words of Wisdom. So we'll end every show now with me sharing some wisdom to the people. Before that, Brazil versus Colombia, who you got? We gonna be there. That's the first thing. We gonna be there. A joga bonito, parceros, because For sure, I might meet my wife in that game. I'm putting that out there. I'm putting that in the universe. The country with the best looking women all in one place here at home, Levi's. We gotta be there. But I gotta go with my Brazilian people, the jogos, the muito bem, para bangs, everything. We gotta go. We gotta go to that game, man. I'm ready. But I got Brazil. You know I got Brazil. No questions. But Gio's words of wisdom. Today, let's see. Never let anyone tell you what you can and cannot do. Control what you can control. You are more powerful, smarter, wiser than you think you are. All you got to do is put your mind into things. Don't let anyone tell you that you suck, that you're not good enough, that you can't be able to do anything. If people lose hope in you, if people, you know, they don't believe in you anymore, that's fine. As long as you believe in yourself. As long as you're willing to take some accountability, look at yourself in the mirror and do the hard work. That's what I'm leaving you guys with today. So whatever, if you're feeling a little down, if there's some task that you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, start something small. Start doing it. And eventually it's gonna get done. And eventually you're gonna look back and be like, what was I thinking? I can get anything done. I'm the best. I'm that motherfucker. I'm him or her. No disrespect. Everyone gets love. So practice that, you guys. Um, know your worth. Know what you can and cannot do. Also know that you can do anything. You can do anything. You can fly. I can fly. Go out there, jump from a building because you can. No, don't do that. I'm just kidding. Do not do that. But believe in yourself because, as always, I believe in you. And with that, guys, I appreciate it. Like I said, we took a 2 week little break, but we're back full go, working on some podcasts with some people. I will, in 2 weeks, I will be actually dropping a little video that I've been making. I've been documenting my progress of 3 months. I want to put it out there. And so that'll be out in 2 weeks. But thank you guys again. I appreciate you guys always showing love, dropping the questions. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. And I'll see you next week. Peace out. Much love. I'm out. Peace.